Last year, 127,000 retirees packed up and left one state. At the same time, 3 other states saw thousands of retirement-age families moving in, buying homes, and settling down for their golden years. You might think this is all about chasing warm weather and beaches, but the real story is far more urgent. It's about financial survival. Let me show you why retirees are fleeing in record numbers and where they're finding refuge. Why California is losing its retirees. The state losing the most retirees isn't a Rust Belt casualty or a forgotten Midwestern town. It's California, the land of sunshine, beaches, and beautiful weather. In 2024 alone, approximately 127,000 seniors left California for other states. These aren't people who hate the ocean or can't stand perfect weather year-round. They're leaving because they simply can't afford to stay. I talked to a retired couple from San Diego last year who'd spent their entire lives in California. They raised their kids there, built careers there, bought their dream home overlooking the coast. But when they sat down to calculate their retirement budget, the numbers were crushing. Their property taxes on a home now worth $700,000 were eating up a huge chunk of their fixed income. California taxes retirement income, including pensions and 401k withdrawals. Their basic monthly expenses: housing, food, utilities, insurance, healthcare were running about $4,200 per month. That's over $50,000 a year just for the basics, with nothing left for travel, emergencies, or helping their grandchildren. They weren't living lavishly, they were living modestly and still struggling. When you're on a fixed income and every dollar counts, California's cost of living becomes unsustainable. It's not just housing, it's the gas prices, the grocery bills, the insurance costs, the state taxes. Everything adds up, and for retirees watching their savings, it becomes terrifying. The mathematics of retirement migration. Let's talk about the actual numbers that are forcing people to make these difficult decisions. In California, the average retiree spends approximately $3,800 per month on basic living expenses. That includes a modest home, utilities, food, transportation, and healthcare. Nothing fancy, just surviving comfortably. In Florida, that same lifestyle costs about $2,400 per month. The difference is $1,400 every single month. Over a year, that's $16,800 in savings just by changing your address. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $336,000. Think about what that means. You could stay in California and spend an extra $250,000 on the same quality of life. Or you could move to Florida, live the same way, and keep that money in your pocket. For someone living on Social Security and a modest retirement account, that's not a lifestyle choice. That's the difference between financial security and potentially running out of money. The math gets even more compelling when you factor in home equity. A typical California retiree might sell their home for $650,000. In many retirement-friendly states, they can buy a comparable or even nicer home for $250,000 to $300,000. That's $350,000 to $400,000 in freed-up equity. Invested conservatively at 4%, that generates an additional $14,000 to $16,000 per year in retirement income. Combined with the lower cost of living, you're looking at an extra $30,000 to $35,000 per year in effective income just from relocating. Florida, the retirement migration champion. Florida is the #1 destination for retiring Americans, and it's not just about the weather. Yes, the sunshine is nice, but the financial benefits are what's really driving the migration. Florida has no state income tax. Zero. If you're drawing $60,000 per year from your retirement accounts, California would tax that. Florida doesn't touch it. For someone pulling $60,000 annually from various retirement sources, that's potentially $4,000 to $6,000 per year, staying in your pocket instead of going to the state. Florida also offers a homestead exemption that significantly reduces property taxes for permanent residents. The first $50,000 of your home's assessed value is exempt from all property taxes, and the next $25,000 is exempt from some taxes. For a typical retiree, this can save $1,000 to $1,500 annually. The overall cost of living in Florida runs about 10% to 15% below California. Groceries cost less, gas is cheaper, insurance is more reasonable for many things. Your retirement dollars simply stretch further. A couple living on $3,500 per month in California can maintain a similar, or better, lifestyle in Florida for around $2,500 per month. Now, Florida isn't perfect. Hurricane insurance has become expensive in recent years, and coastal properties can face significant insurance costs. If you're buying in a flood zone, you need to factor in those premiums. But even with higher insurance, most retirees still come out significantly ahead financially. Tennessee, the hidden gem Tennessee has emerged as the second most popular retirement destination, and many people are surprised by this. Tennessee offers no state income tax on wages, and crucially for retirees, no tax on retirement income either. Your Social Security, pension, 401k withdrawals, and IRA distributions are all state tax-free. For a retired couple with $75,000 in combined retirement income, that's saving roughly $4,000 to $5,000 per year compared to states that tax retirement income. Property taxes in Tennessee are remarkably low, especially compared to high-tax states. The median home price in many Tennessee retirement communities runs around $180,000 to $220,000, a fraction of what you'd pay in California or the Northeast. Your property tax bill might be $1,200 to $1,800 per year on a nice home. Tennessee also has excellent healthcare systems, particularly in cities like Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. Vanderbilt, UT Medical Center, and other top-rated hospitals provide world-class care. For retirees concerned about healthcare access, this is crucial. The cost of living is low, but the quality of medical care is high. The climate is milder than many northern states, with 4 distinct seasons but without brutal winters. You'll get snow occasionally, but it's manageable. Summers are warm but not oppressively hot like Arizona or parts of Florida. For retirees who want seasonal variety without extreme weather, Tennessee hits a sweet spot. South Carolina, tax benefits with coastal living. South Carolina rounds out the top 3 retirement destinations, and it offers some unique tax advantages that make it particularly attractive. South Carolina exempts the first $15,000 of retirement income from state taxes for anyone over 65. If both spouses receive retirement income, that's $30,000 combined. That's completely tax-free. Additionally, up to 60% of Social Security income is untaxed in South Carolina. Property taxes are low compared to northeastern states and California. The median property tax bill runs about $1,200 per year, combined with relatively affordable housing median home prices around $250,000. In retirement-friendly areas, here housing costs drop dramatically. South Carolina offers both coastal living and inland options. If you want to be near the beach, you can find affordable areas near Myrtle Beach, Charleston, or Hilton Head. If you prefer lower costs and a quieter lifestyle, inland areas like Greenville and Columbia offer excellent quality of life at even lower prices. The climate is mild, with short, gentle winters and warm summers tempered by ocean breezes in coastal areas. The Johnson family's financial transformation. Let me tell you about a real transformation I witnessed. The Johnsons, I'm changing their name for privacy, spent 35 years in California. Both worked good jobs, saved diligently, and looked forward to retirement. When they finally retired at 66, they sat down and ran the numbers. Their monthly expenses in California were running $4,100. They owned their home, but property taxes, insurance, utilities, food, and healthcare were consuming their budget. They sold their California home for $580,000 and moved to Tennessee. They bought a beautiful home on 2 acres for $240,000. After closing costs and moving expenses, they banked about $320,000 from the sale. Their monthly expenses in Tennessee dropped to approximately $2,300 for a comparable lifestyle. Actually, they feel like they're living better, more space, friendly community, less traffic stress. The financial impact was transformative. They were saving $1,800 per month in living expenses. That's $21,600 per year they weren't spending. Plus, they invested the $320,000 from their home sale conservatively. At a 4% return, that generated an additional $12,800 per year in income. Between lower expenses and investment income, they effectively increased their annual available funds by over $34,000. They went from feeling financially tight to feeling genuinely comfortable and secure. They told me the hardest part wasn't the finances, it was leaving their kids and grandchildren. That emotional cost is real and can't be calculated on a spreadsheet. But they visit several times a year, and their children visit them. The money they save actually gives them more resources to maintain those relationships. The hidden costs nobody mentions. Before you start packing boxes, you need to understand that retirement relocation isn't just about comparing cost of living calculators. There are real costs, financial and emotional, that don't show up in spreadsheets. You're leaving behind family and friends you've known for decades. Video calls and visits aren't the same as being there for Sunday dinners or attending your grandchildren's school events. You'll need to find new doctors, dentists, and specialists. If you have ongoing health conditions, you're rebuilding your entire medical team, transferring medical records, establishing new patient relationships, and finding providers you trust takes time and effort. Medicare works everywhere, but Medicare Advantage plans are regional, so you might need to switch plans and networks. Each state has different Medicaid rules if you ever need long-term care assistance. Some states have generous programs, others are more restrictive. You'll need to update your estate planning documents because laws vary by state. Your California will might need modifications to comply with Tennessee or Florida law. Powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and trust documents may all need legal review. The physical move itself costs money. Professional movers charge $8,000 to $15,000 for a cross-country relocation. If you're downsizing, you'll spend time and money selling possessions or putting things in storage. There are closing costs on both the home you're selling and the one you're buying. Making your decision if you're approaching retirement and feeling squeezed by the cost of living, you're not alone. The 127,000 retirees who left California last year weren't running from sunshine. They were running toward financial security. The retirees flooding into Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina aren't just chasing warm weather. They're chasing the ability to live comfortably on fixed incomes without fear of running out of money. Start by running your own numbers. Calculate your actual monthly expenses where you live now. Then research what those same expenses would be in states you're considering. Don't forget to factor in taxes on retirement income state. Income tax, property tax, and sales tax all matter. Look at the home equity you could free up and what that money could do for your retirement security. Visit potential retirement destinations before you commit. Rent for a month or two if possible. Experience the climate, meet the community, check out the healthcare facilities. Talk to people who've already made the move. Join online forums for retirees in those areas. The more information you gather, the better decision you'll make. This isn't just about money, though the financial benefits are substantial. It's about designing a retirement where you're not constantly worried about expenses, where your savings can last, and where you can actually enjoy the years you worked so hard to reach. The great retirement migration is happening for a reason. Now you know the real story behind it. What you do with that information is up to you.